Okay, remember that they're changing my voice because they're jealous. My throat is burning. I don't want to mess up my body too much by speaking too much. But keep in mind that the cultures are key here. People are called sheeple, and not in a way that is good, right? Sheep can refer to the sheep that are mangled by the lion that God allows to mangle them, or they can refer to the sheep who are the people who obey God through me, who are my sheep who answer my voice. When you follow the wicked, you're like sheep to the slaughter, and then you go to hell. Life can be hard either way, you know. I grew up in a house that's now worth $5 million. Okay, then we moved to unincorporated Morgan Hill. Okay. And I can tell you for sure that having money means nothing. But doing what's right really is fulfilling, even while you're persecuting. Right now, when my throat is burning, I don't know how much damage it's going to do. I'm getting older, been shunned, haven't been on a date in 7 years. I know for sure that I've lived my life much better than everyone else. And the last 7 years of my life are better than the richest years of my life. By far, nowhere near comparable. Now I'm the top martial artist ever, persecuted for righteousness' sake. It's hard to think, so I'm talking about this instead of explaining to you the scriptures and Proverbs. But to make a long story short, a king's wrath is a messenger of death, and a king's rage is like the roar of a lion. The wrath and rage are comparable, so the roar of the lion is also a messenger of death in its own right. It's that spirit, the Lion of Judah versus the roaring lion of the devil in it's like 1 Peter 5:8 or 2 Peter 5:8 or something. He's seeking who he may devour. We also see that in Proverbs 17:12 it says that better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool bent on folly. So the bear represents, a bear charging because it's been robbed of her offspring, or the cubs. It's been transformed into an abomination is the easiest way to interpret it. And it's merged with the beast, which is like a combination of people with complexes, hell and El, right, who are out to get people. And there's no way to interpret the beast without acknowledging that all cultures that don't obey God through me, okay, no offense to anybody, will say according to the Bible to not break the rules. According to the Bible, they're evil. Okay, jocks, emos, goths, thugs with no higher cause, police cultures, police fraternities, military cultures, military fraternities, you name it, okay, surfers, skaters, every culture you can think of. They're sheeple. The sheeple don't refer to just some nerds in class or something, or just, police that blindly follow orders or intelligence agents. It refers to the masses of sheep. They're wolves in sheep's clothes, and they're sheeple at the same time. They're their worst enemies, and the devil is in them, and they're mangling each other. The whore and the beast, the two beasts, the false prophet, the dragon, with many dragon heads, the devil, they're all connected. They're all components of the cultures who are outside of the divine order. And their sword is a flesh-based sword and not the sword of God, and it devoured their worth and their potential to be prophets. That's what that's what Jeremiah 2:30 is saying in the video I made before this. Now, I gotta end this shortly. But to make a long story short, their sword has devoured their prophets like a ravenous lion. The lion is a sword. The mouth of the lion is a sword. And we'll get into that in the next video where I talk about the teeth of the lion and the fangs of the lioness. Okay. So a nation, a mighty army without number, with teeth of a lion, fangs of a lioness, is devouring the people of the earth. Okay. That's what the mouth of the beast stands for. It has the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion. Okay. In my notes, I put the mouth first because I'm focusing on the lion, but in the chapter it says it has the feet of a bear. It's like a leopard. It's the feet of the bear, mouth of a lion, because a leopard says to ambush people who are trying to leave, like the lion. The bear is said to be, a fool bent on folly, okay, that's robbed of its cubs, so it's male and female, right? It's like gender-neutral Baphomet, right? They've merged with the various qualities of this thing. That's why the mighty nation is said to have the teeth of a lion, the fangs of a lioness. It's male and female at the same time. So as they refuse to man up, right, they're like an unruly woman. Proverbs says folly is an unruly woman, and folly's in the heart of a child. So like this childish Babylon, baby lion pussy that, is after itself, and that's the people collectively outside the divine order and the people individually. Okay. So the lion is also a destroyer of nations. It's a destroyer of towns and peoples. It lays them waste, right? Waste is a plan word for waste set, and set is the Egyptian equivalent of Baal, and Set's main enemy is Horus, and Horus's true form is the son of God, and Ra's true form is God. But Ra can be interpreted by pagans in a way that's evil, okay? To the point where Ra in Hebrew means evil, but that main reason it means evil because the Jews, according to Isaiah and the story, etc., are said to call good evil and evil good. Okay, so they're calling God evil and they're calling the devil magically good, right? So it's a destroyer of nations, that God allows their evil to fester in them and for them to destroy each other and themselves. Is that what we see, right? They're selling each other drugs. They're doing drugs with each other, okay? There's the porn. There's the main destructive force is Western culture. No offense to anybody, but that's clear here. Okay, look at porn. Where does it come from? The West. Rights Jews and LGBT elitists in certain clubs. Not every member of their races and groups are thrilled about it, but everybody from every race outside the divine order has a part to play in it. Okay, so what cultures are destroying the world the most? And every culture that's outside the divine order is playing its part in destroying the world. But do we make the distinction between Hitler and the average person in the Nazi army at the time? Yes. And so we must make the distinction between the main cultures that are destroying people when we're talking about the spiritual truths that are obscured in the Bible, because the Bible is by Baal, it's by Set, and it's meant to confuse you. That's why in the story Abel is replaced by Seth, whose name can also be said is Set, because they use wordplay, anagrams, and cryptograms. Pretty straightforward. And often, they say when they're describing certain words, they say the word for such and such, is similar to the word for such and such. You see what I'm saying? And it sounds similar. So sounds is part of the description of the Bible logically and also in their own Bible Gateway footnotes. So it's pretty straightforward here when we look at this thing. So again, the king's wrath is a messenger of death. Okay, so it says, hey, you're going to the realm of the dead. And as such, since you're in defiance of God, you're going to eternal punishment, where the smoke of your torment will rise forever and ever, and your offspring will continue to be confused by it. And we see that with the brain function. We see that with reality. If you make someone think they're underwater when they're not, are they underwater? No. If you make someone think they're in the right when they're not, are they in the right? No. And what happens when you think you're in the right, or you're in God's spirit and you're not? You're fucking crazy. So people are crazy whether they use transhumanism, brain hacking, artificial intelligence, what have you, or not. Now, I've done a lot of speaking here. I should stop. I didn't intend to make this video this long. But yes, okay, you should be able to put together the rest from here, but I'm going to continue to make videos.